Hi you guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I want to share 8 really simple food and grocery hacks and tips that are going to simplify your life but also save you money. All 8 are super easy to implement and I can't wait to share them with you. Hello everyone. My name is Jen if you're new here, and I am a mom of 6 from Ontario, Canada. Those said 6 children are doing online school right now in Ontario again, and I've been doing a lot of math help and math homework with them. And I just got thinking about math today, and it was actually one of my all-time favorite subjects when I was in school. I know that's not a common response. I know a lot of people absolutely hated math growing up in school. So I thought I'm gonna make a video where I'm kind of doing the math for you and taking the guesswork out of things and helping you to just learn some pretty cool hacks that are going to save you time and money. Hack number 1 could not be easier. It is the save the banana rule. It's like saving the rainforest, but for bananas. Seriously though, how many of you guys get down to like 1 banana and it's going bad and you just toss it in the garbage or the compost? It's not enough. Like, you usually need at least 3 bananas to make a good banana loaf or a banana bread or banana muffins. So you just take that single banana and you toss it. Well, here in our house, we actually put all of these bananas in our freezer in a Ziploc bag. It's just something that's really easy to do at the end of the week with any bananas that have gone overripe. We pop them in the freezer until we have enough for a full recipe of something with banana, or until we have the time to do it. Because sometimes, you know, you've got all these overripe bananas on your counter and you're like, oh, I've got to make muffins with those, I've got to do this, and then you don't get to it, they get moldy and gross, yada, yada, yada. Why stress yourself out like that? Put them in your freezer until you do have time. I've had like 12 bananas in my freezer at once in Ziploc bags, and then I do just a huge batch when it comes to that. And by the way, the save the banana rule is not just for bananas. This is good for anything that you can put in your freezer that is starting to get on the side of too ripe to eat, or you know you're not gonna get to it to eat it in time. Pop it in your freezer. That goes for blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, grapes, lots of different veggies. You can chop up extra peppers or onion and put them in little containers in your freezer to use for soups or stews or recipes later on. You can do this with meat. You can do this with any baked good whatsoever. There are so many things that apply to the save the banana rule, and I know if you start to implement this, you're going to waste less and simplify your life just a bit and save money. Hack number 2 is leftover day. Do you guys have leftover day at your home? We do at ours, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we are having today because it's leftover day at our house and we have a bunch of meals and we're gonna heat it all up. It's gonna feed my entire family of 8, and that's a whole bunch of food we're not throwing in the garbage, thereby, you know, tossing money out into the garbage when you really think about it. Okay, can you guys see my fridge right now? You can probably hear my fridge humming right now. Don't judge, it is not perfectly clean, but I'm just gonna show you here like what we do. So I have a little bit of spaghetti casserole left over. It's probably enough for 2 people. I have some pulled pork here left over that my wonderful friend Lanita made for me. Thank you, Lanita, if you're watching. And we've got enough for a couple people here as well. Anyone say macaroni and hot dogs? Don't throw your leftovers of these out. Put them in the fridge and heat them up in a couple more days. And you'll notice we also save partial jars of things. So like I have a partial jar of applesauce here, a partial jar of canned pears back here. So even if it's just a little bit, like look at this, we saved nuggets and little potatoes in here as well. Even if it's just a little bit, save it. And if you're somebody who has trouble using up leftovers, like you put them in your fridge and they just go moldy, make sure that you either have your leftovers at the front of your fridge like this, or you have them in a clear jar or a clear container like this so that you can see it and know that it's there. Now, maybe you're not gonna have an entire leftover day at your house. Maybe you're gonna commit to always heating up leftovers for your lunch the next day. Lots of people do this, and just think of, how much money would it cost you to eat out for lunch or grab something while you were at work that you can save just by packing leftovers from home. Hack number 3 is to always move things to the very front of your pantry or your refrigerator that need to be used up soon or that could be expiring. So you kind of saw what I did with leftovers in our fridge. The same thing applies in your pantry. Go through your pantry often and move things around. Like maybe you've got something in there that you're like, oh, I forgot about this and it's expiring in a month. Move all that stuff to the front so that you actually use it up. Maybe you've got like this, I have kind of like a couple bags of Lipton's, a half open box. Move it to the front. The other reason you're going to do this is because it keeps you from buying multiples of that thing that you already have in your pantry. Go through your pantry continually so that you're not buying it unnecessarily the next time you go to the grocery store. Hack number 4 is all about bread crusts. What do you guys do with the ends of your loaves of bread? Do you guys eat these right away? Or are you in a feeling like mine and nobody really wants those crusts? So then they end up maybe going in the compost or garbage. Don't do that. Save the bread crusts. I'll just show you here in my freezer. And you can see that I have a Ziploc bag that is entirely filled with bread crusts. And so when we're done with a loaf of bread, we just open the bag, we toss those crusts into the bag, zip it back up, and put it in our freezer. So I probably have bread crusts from about 10 loaves of bread here. Now, why would I be doing something crazy like saving the ends of the bread in my freezer? The reason is because that makes free croutons and breadcrumbs for our family that I don't have to go out and buy. It's very easy to take all of those frozen ends of bread and pop them in your blender and grind them up into breadcrumbs to top your favorite casserole. It's very easy to thaw them out, chop them up, toss them in butter, oil, herbs and spices, and roast them in your oven to make delicious croutons. And you basically didn't spend a penny to do it. Hack number 5 is another pantry tip, and that is to store your more expensive treats and foods high up in your cabinetry. So you can see here, like if I open up here, this is actually funny. So way up here is where I have a lot of dishes, pots and pans, you can see. But mixed in with those are Easter candy. Up here you can see, I can barely reach it, mostly just my husband can, are chips. And the reason we do that, you guessed it, is to keep the kids away from eating them so that they last longer, but it also keeps us adults away. Because when you think about it, if I'm just wandering into the kitchen, it's a lot easier to open a lower cupboard and just grab something than it is to open a high cupboard and reach high up, dig through something, or reach really high or have to get a stool to reach something. So if you want to know the truth, we make Christmas or Easter candies last kind of months that way because it's just harder to access. That doesn't say that kids don't try to sneak some by quietly dragging a stool over there every once in a while without asking mom and dad, but the point is, it just makes it more difficult. And then you're not buying those special chocolates or bags of chips nearly as often. Grocery saving hack number 6, I am in my dining room to show you, and the reason for that is I want to show you what's on my table right behind me. Can you see it? Maybe I'll grab it. You guessed it, it is our Brita filter. And you can also probably see behind me, there is a cup at everyone's spot sitting on a coaster. So this is a little money saving hack that I have. And the way it saves us money is, first of all, we're not buying bottled water, pops and juices when we have a Brita filter. It makes our tap water taste delicious. And keeping it out on the table with our cups, I also think saves us money because then it's right there and accessible. The kids see it when they're thirsty, they grab themselves a drink of water and they're not trying trying to root through the cupboards to find a juice box or something like that. And by using the same cup over and over again all day, just with water, it's not getting grubby from juice. So just using the same glass all day on a coaster. It also means less dishes and just a much simpler life for everybody because we're not going through so many cups in a day. Hack number 7, I'm coming to you from my mudroom. What does your mudroom have to do with saving money on food, you might ask? Well, I'm coming to you from my mudroom because this is where we store, they're just falling out of the cupboard. This is where we store all of our reusable bags for groceries. In Canada, it costs us between 5 and 10 cents, sometimes 15 cents for a disposable bag at any grocery store we go to. So it's just like a really easy, simple money saver to bring your own bags. Not only that, it's way better for the environment. And yes, everybody, during this pandemic, cashiers are not allowed usually to pack your brought from home bags for you. So what? Pack your own bags. It's not that much work. If you can walk the aisles of a grocery store and place things in your cart, your arms are probably strong enough to pack your own grocery bags as well. And I always figure, like, if I go to the grocery store and I've got 20 bags full of stuff, because I've got a large family, we got a lot of bags full of stuff. If I'm saving $2 just by packing it myself, why not? Penny saved is a penny earned, or a toonie saved is a toonie earned in this case. If you're not Canadian, you may have no idea what a toonie is. I'll leave that up to you to research. Hack number 8, I am coming to you from the deep, echoey dungeons of my basement, my fruit cellar, to show you one of the biggest savers when it comes to food in our home, and that is our deep freezers. Look at this rusty old thing. It's super old, but it's really efficient and it doesn't really take that much electricity to run. If you do not have a deep freezer and you have the space for it, you really should get one. They're not that expensive if you look at a local buy and sell or somebody maybe who's moving or an estate sale. Deep freezers are something that they're not like your dishwasher or your washer and dryer that break down or only last so long. Like, these things can last, as you can see from the rust stains on mine, for decades and decades and decades, and they don't usually use a lot of electricity. They don't have a lot of parts to break down, but having a deep freezer means that you can save so much money by buying meat, fruits, and vegetables and baked goods in bulk and storing them for later. Buy things, a lot of it, when it's on sale, store it for later. Maybe you don't have a real big space to put it. Have you considered making room, like in your garage or your laundry room, for even like a little cubicle deep freezer? A lot of us have things around home that we don't need, that are just taking up space and that aren't going to save us money. So why not figure out a way you can get a deep freezer in your space? Maybe get rid of that mountain bike or different things taking up space that you actually never use and put a deep freezer there instead. Now, if you discovered any new tips that you want to try out today, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It lets me know you appreciated it, but also it kind of helps the ratings on YouTube. Click that red button to subscribe if you haven't yet. And here are some more videos I've done on how to save money on food. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope I will see you in the next one. For the least, this is Jen.